Joan and I sat down in our bedroom. Jimmy came in and closed the door behind him. And he sat down on the chair across from the bed where we were sitting. He says, "Mom and Dad, I have something important to tell you, and it's not a problem, it's not a bad thing, it's just different." We said, "Okay." And he looked at us in earnest, and he said, "I'm gay." So after a few seconds of deafening silence, Joan takes a deep breath and says, "Jimmy, we will love whoever you love." That was about 12 years ago when he came out to us, and I'll have to admit that at the time, Joan and I did think this could be a problem for his safety even. And as his father, I had this feeling that somehow I had failed him, and maybe because of that, he wouldn't have a chance to have kids of his own. So I'm a cardiologist, and gays have 80% fewer kids than heterosexuals. This is a trait that ought to go extinct in a few generations, but down through recorded history in every culture, and many animal species as well, homosexuality has been a small but distinct subgroup. If this were a genetic error, natural selection should have long ago culled this from the gene pool. Homosexuality is not so much about sex, it's really more about survival, the family's survival. So us, Homo sapiens, we are among the most social species on Earth. For us, it's not just a kill or be killed struggle for existence. It's a snuggle for existence. You know, an ability to love our family and bond with our group determines, in many cases, whether we survive or perish. So it's the survival of the fittest family, not the fittest individual. So E.O. Wilson, probably the greatest evolutionary biologist since Darwin himself, says homosexuality gives advantages to the group by specialized talents and unusual qualities of personality. So a society that condemns homosexuality harms itself. So what does Professor Wilson mean by unusual qualities of personality? So scientific studies do indeed show that people in the sexual minority tend to be intelligent, particularly when it comes to emotional intelligence. So this study showed that boys and girls who scored in the very bright IQ range were twice as likely to be homosexual as adults as those children who scored in the low to average range. And among gay males, on psychological testing, those who scored, the gay males tend to score higher in metrics of compassion and cooperation, and lower in metrics of hostility. So if Michelangelo had been straight, he might have just wallpapered the Sistine Chapel. Songwriter Sam Austin says, "Homosexuality is God's way of assuring the truly gifted aren't burdened with children." But today in the US, about 2 out of every 25 people are in the sexual minority. Diversity is nature's secret weapon. Homosexuality is like a catalyst to help emotionally connect groups of people together. When Joan was pregnant with him, we discovered a large cancer growing in her chest. Miraculously, they both survived and are in great health today. But in fact, severe prenatal stress does predispose to homosexuality. In this study, 37% of gay males reported that their mother suffered severe prenatal stress, compared to only 3% of heterosexual males' moms. This is kind of like where the mom is placing epigenetic markers on the baby to change his identity to help the future welfare of the family. It's as if the mom was saying, "I'm in trouble here. I need a kind and clever ally to help me hold this family together."